Okay, this video is me explaining what happens when Venus goes into the fifth house in our birth chart. What is Venus? Venus represents relationships, women, music, art, beauty, one night stands, and just people that we date in general. Unless Venus is your seventh house lord, then it will specifically represent your spouse, the type of person you would marry and be in a serious marriage-like relationship with. And the fifth house represents a lot of things. It represents children. It represents some dating. It represents hobbies. It represents, the study of like ancient knowledge. Sort of like, learning astrology. Because five places from the fifth house is the ninth house, and 9 places from the ninth house is the fifth house. So the fifth house shares similar qualities and traits to that of the ninth house. So a bunch of good, well-placed planets in the fifth house could show someone who could have a great interest in astrology or studying just religious, spiritual things, or maybe a good tarot reader or something. Like I said, fifth house is children, and it can also represent sex, because you see, I don't know, this house has sort of like the elements and theme of a child. Children like to have fun. Children are very creative and have hobbies and stuff. And dating is fun. Sex is fun. And children are a product of all that fun that you're having. So when Venus goes here, this is like an amusement park for Venus, because Venus loves to have fun. Venus is creativity. Venus is all about relationships. So Venus, it feels real good and does real good in the fifth house. Someone here, they would, meet predominantly most of their little relationships and women and, sexual encounters just about in any place that is fun. Any place that you go to that you sort of have fun, you would meet your meet your partners, meet your women. And like I said, that could be just about anywhere you have fun or whatever. If you having Venus in the fifth house, you might meet predominantly your women or your relationships in places, I don't know, she might have like some type of connection with children or whatever. I had sort of forgot where I was about to go with this, and I just had a brain fart. But anyway, Venus in the fifth house could show you naturally might have this love and interest in learning astrology, or just studying and learning and just being educated in general. That could be something that you find great pleasure and love for. Venus in the fifth house would really just love to date and be in relationships and interact and deal with a lot of people and potentially have a lot of sex. Venus in the fifth house would really love, this shows someone who would really love to maybe deal with children and all that good stuff. And likewise, you would probably attract a woman and partners that would love to deal with children and stuff. Like I said, Venus in the fifth house definitely is a good thing to have in the fifth house if you are, wishing and hoping to have children. Of course, you want to look at the fifth house lord to see all of that good stuff. Venus in the fifth house, you would be someone who potentially has great artistic and creative hobbies and interests. And because it aspects the 11th house, you would probably want to share those creative artistic skills with the masses, with large amounts of people, with large groups of people and stuff. But that's just about it for what happens when Venus goes into the fifth house. It's pretty simple. Like, for example, just a quick little recap. Like I said, you'll be really interested and into, dating a lot of people and interacting with a lot of people, and you would really love to deal with children. You could attract a spouse who is probably real good with dealing with children. You could attract a spouse or a person who maybe has a great love and interest in maybe learning astrology or tarot or an educated woman, because 5 places from the 5th house is the 9th house, and 9 places from the 9th house is the 5th house. You would meet your woman, you would meet your spouse primarily in environments and places where you would have fun. But like I said, that could be just about anywhere. That's all up to you, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna just end this video right here and stop talking in a circle, cause I'm trying to pry my brain to see if there's really anything else. But sometimes placements are just that simple, unless you know the sign that Venus, the sign that a planet is in, and even deeper when you know the constellation and the nakshatra that the Venus is in. But on just a basic level, what I just said is basically what you can see when Venus goes into the 5th house. It isn't really ain't really too much to it unless we know the sign that Venus is in. Hope this gave you some type of clarity and insight on what happens when Venus goes into the 5th house, and thank you for watching.